Good morning, everyone, on this happy hump day. Today, I'm completely forgetting the introduction right now. I'm just like, whew, I'm already ready to talk about House of the Dragon. It's your girls from Obscure Orations with your co-host Taylor and Miss Dana with me.
Howdy, howdy.
So, I don't know if I'm excited to talk about this week's episode or if I'm traumatized by this week's episode. I'm not really sure which yet.
Excited yet mildly disgusted.
Yes, I think that's probably the best way to put it. Like, hmm.
I mean, it was the whole Clint Eastwood movie all in one: the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes, 100% yes. So, God, I don't even know where to start in this week's episode. So this week's episode starts to kind of highlight the falling apart of the realm, where it's called the Burning Mill. And as near as Dana and I can figure out, the reason for that is because of the slaughter that takes place between two of the families that aren't the Targaryens. They're just little vassal states. They're like, your stones are on my property. How dare you move them?
I swear to God, that
And
guy lives in my neighborhood.
you're like, I didn't even know the stones moved. He's like, they moved 7 centimeters. So, okay, I'm just going to talk about this straight out because it keeps haunting my dreams. The chicken wing became less chicken wingy. However, we saw the weenie.
We saw a few weenies. Let's
That
let us say we saw a few. The first one, as Aegon and his clan, horde, whatever you want to call them, whooshed the curtain in the brothel we're greeted with.
Yeah, I was going to say, foot long and then some. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like, you get everything else that you're going to find in a brothel, like orgies, woman on woman, guy in the corner just himself. Like, you get all the normal stuff. And then, ladies and gentlemen, he whooshes open a curtain that actually leads to his brother,
Amen.
who is with the same whore from last week. Although at a quick glance, like, I didn't even realize it was her at first.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I was so
Disgusted?
I was gonna say I was just so disturbed and just like, oh, we're doing the chicken wing thing again. Like,
Oh.
oh, they're gonna be mean to his angles. And then they come in with their little cohort going, ha 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 ha. Like, I like there's a meme. Can't remember if V shared it with us or not. Where it's a picture, where it's a side by side from season 1 and season 2, where it's Aegon standing over Aemon's shoulder, laughing at him when they bring him out the pig because he doesn't have a dragon yet,
Right.
and him making fun of him. And then they showed a clip from this where it's again Aegon over his shoulder laughing and making fun of him because, as we found out in that particular scene, the whore was his very first whore, like the one that he lost his virginity to and continues to go back to time after time.
Who are we to assume that she ain't the best he ever had? I mean, obviously she's the only he ever had, but
She could be phenomenal.
That's right. That's why he keeps going back. You like a restaurant, you go back.
I like that comparison. You like a restaurant, you just keep going back. You
That's
like
right.
that wine, you keep going back for dinner there.
That's right.
So, I mean, I feel bad for him. Like, the character just gets picked on so much, but then he can be such a fucking asshole. And like, oh yeah, you were mean to your cousins. You started beating the crap out of girls when you were a little child. They beat on you. They then took your eye. You got a giant ass dragon out of it, which we now know is like men with the big trucks. They're overcompensating for something.
And we saw that.
Like, he stood up so proudly, and I was like, "You go, boy! Oh, we're seeing all of it. Oh,
literally, boy."
Or it's like, where do I look? It's like, I'm just gonna look down at the ground while he just struts off, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, like that whole stand up and slowly turn around. He was so confident. He was like so confident. I'm like, you should probably just slow your roll there.
It's one of those times where you're just like, okay, so he's confident because he knows how to use other implements that he has at his disposal. Or as you say exactly, he's like, what would I have to do tonight? where because I'm me, my immediate thought was, I wonder if he's a grower. Like, is he that's just him soft, and then
maybe it was cold in there.
It could have also been that too. I'm just having flashbacks to Seinfeld. I was in the pool. It's very cold and drafty in there that time of year. Like, it threw me off when he stood up and had that. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's going to be a few full frontals today. And I think it wouldn't have been as noticeable had they not shown the foot long beforehand. Because that made everyone go, whoa.
Welcome to Coney Island.
Yeah, exactly. We're like,
here's what you see. This is what you get.
You pay to see this. However, you don't pay for this. This one's free.
Okay, so first thing Aegon does is start taunting his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
I don't know about you. I mean, V was sitting on the couch with me while we were watching. I think personally, Aemon had murder in his eyes. Like, I get being teased. I'm the youngest of my family. I got picked on as a child. So I kind of understand his, always going back to that nurturing soul, the horror. Brother catches him, and Aemond is, even though he's younger than Aegon, it's obviously he's more
mature.
He's more mature. He's more brutal. He'd slice a bitch if he need be. So, and again, I don't know how the books go. You do, I don't. I could honestly see some throwdown going on between those two brothers.
That's one of the things that I've never, in any of the times that I've like looked for clips or Googled any of the information that was coming up. That's one thing that I don't remember actually coming across was the two of them going at it. And I kind of wonder if it's because of like the short sequence that this all takes place. Like, this all happens over, I want to say, like a 2-year timeline, kind of. Like, it's basically, I think Viserys dies in 129 AC, and the war is going on from then into like 130 AC, and just it's death after death after death kind of thing.
Right.
So it's all quick succession. So I don't know if I think had it been a longer drawn out war, I think there definitely would have been like a dagger in the night sort of situation.
Maybe if more people had survived, the war would have went on longer.
There also could have been that. If there there were less children fighting in the war, then probably. Oh. I just remembered the next part that I want to talk about after we're done with Eamon.
I'm pretty much done with talking about the teeny weeny.
That poor guy's going to be known as the Chicken Wing and Teeny Weeny and Mr. Burns, all of those things forever and a day. So, yes. As I was watching the episode and watching the part where Bela is on her dragon and Alison Hightower's douchey brother, it's like, we're going to an inn, Sir Kristen. You can do whatever you want. We're riding on. And is out in the middle of nowhere, out in the open, no trees near them, just might as be fucking Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Just pretty going much through. And all of a sudden Cole looks up and is like, oh shit. Ride, bitches, ride! And Bela comes swooping in. I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat. Dracarys.
I know.
Fire! Right?
I'm like, burn their asses. She didn't listen to me either.
No, I was telling her set the entire set the entire forest on fire. Burn it all. I would have done that exactly. Just been like shooting fire all the way along into the forest, crispifying Kristen, and just roasting them right then and there. It's like
at least when she went back to Rhaenyra, she was able to give her that intel back. So Christian Cole's on his way, right? Yep. Get ready because shit's going down.
Yes.
So having that heads up sort of thing, right?
I am glad that she was able to do that. Although I did love when she was giving the report and she was like, well, you couldn't have been close enough. You might have missed a few things. She's like, no, I was close. And she's just the look on her face of like a pissed off mother going, what did I tell you? I said wait in the car.
They could feel the dragon's breath on the back of their neck through the armor.
Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing? I took chase. I said, like, oh yeah, there we go. There's the happy, proud father moment where it's like, yeah, Damon would have been sitting there going, that's my girl.
She crop dusted them.
That would have been good too, like just dragon fart on them. I'm sure it's got to smell horrible with what they eat.
So Damon, I'm very confused.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
So he goes to this rundown castle. Excuse me, I don't. Okay, Harrenhal. He goes there, and he finds, I don't know what, 8-10 survivors in a room, eating a bean.
Yeah.
And he declares himself king. Because when the guy addressed him, he said, what did he say? He said
the
something.
Guy
and Damon said, Your Grace.
Yeah, say he referred to him as my prince, and he corrected him saying, no, that's your grace. And she's like, oh, I just assumed that when you became a consort, you were still a prince. And it's like, no, I'm your grace. Like, all right, well, it's the only time that he's really going to have any claim to the title. So I'm like, you have at it, buddy.
So what is the whole purpose of that? Like, I know, well, I'm going to assume that Damon flew off to look for allies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he's doing in Harrenhal.
So does he think those 10 people are going to be enough?
His plan is so according to what he said in the show, the castle Harrenhal is the only one big enough to hold the complement of troops that he wants to be able to bring in, because all the other, like, it's literally the biggest castle in all of Westeros, I think he said.
It's in ruins.
Yeah, so that would be because of his great ancestor, Aegon the Conqueror, who came in with, what's his name, Balerion?
Sure.
Balin. I can't remember
the dragon. Balin? Are we getting our dwarfs mixed up?
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute, is Lord of the Rings entering this? But the Black Dread, when he came in, his fire was so hot it literally melted stone. So Harrenhal stood up against him, and Aegon went, "Oh no, you don't," and just melted the shit out of all of the stone. So from that point in time, the place has been known to be cursed, which is why Lord Lars, the liege lord that he says that he has no allegiance to, said that, oh yeah, the curse killed his brother and father. And then the old fella there is like, do you see how damp it is here? Even during the summer, it's damp. We can't even keep the fire in the hearth going. And yet somehow his brother and father died in a fire. It's like, ooh, you being called out.
Let us not admit that a dragon started that fire.
So it's I'm curious to see who all, just because I haven't read, like I said, I only have like the first 100 out of 5 million pages read of that book. Then I got distracted reading other things and watching other things. But I'm curious to see who all Daemon gets to come to his cause.
Right.
Because I'm thinking it's got to be around there that him and Aemon go at it and kill each other. Because that battle has to happen soonish. Did
we mention spoilers?
Oh yeah, spoilers. Did I send you the video last night about this unknown other child of Alicent
Darren?
and yeah.
Yeah, you said
Darian. Okay.
Darren, whatever.
I had no idea he existed until last night. Like, oh yeah, he was mentioned in the show. I'm like, what?
Is he dead? Is he alive? If he's alive, where the fuck is he?
So that's what I found out from watching several videos, because I saw the one where someone was doing kind of a review, and I said, "Oh yeah, Darian was finally mentioned." I'm like,
"Who
the fuck is?" I'm like, "Who the fuck is Darian?" Like Darian Lake, the drag superstar. It's like I don't think she's gonna be in this. That doesn't seem to match. And then I started, like, I clicked on. They had one of those things where it's like the blue words at the top of the comments, where it's like, oh yeah, you click on it and you go to it. It's like, oh yeah, Darian, the sixth child of Viserys and Lady Alicent. I'm like, or the yeah. No, she had five kids. Aegon, Aemon, Helena,
Darian.
Feel like I'm missing another one. Oh, no, the other one was the unborn child from Emma, his first wife, and Rhaenyra. That's why it was 6. I'm like, I'm missing one. Dead baby. That was that one. May it rest in peace. Just trying to think. I'm like, the fuck. That was the one. No word of a lie. I saw them listing off all of the children of Viserys, and all of them were like, he's got 5. And the questioner's like, but, and they're like, the one who died in childbirth or shortly after. They're like, that doesn't count. He's like, it counts. He had a name. It's like, God damn it. 6 babies or 6 children. Like, God damn it. But then I was sitting there, I'm like, but who the hell is Darian? So apparently he plays a pivotal role in the upcoming war completely. He's been off in Old Town, Alicent's home, where the Hightowers are from. And he's been a squire to her brother.
Her cousin. No, her cousin.
Her cousin? Her cousin. I was going to say he's squire to someone in her family.
He's squiring somebody.
Yeah, I was say he's fetching wine and holding swords and that kind of stuff for someone else. So apparently he's been there this entire time, being fostered there for, I don't really know why, other than she didn't like him, I guess. I don't even know. I'm like, why would you? You're the queen. You don't need to send him away anywhere, but okay.
You're getting on my nerves.
Be gone to your cousins. So apparently he's been there for, I don't even know how long. Like, nothing ever said how long he was there that I've seen. So, but he's got his own dragon there too. So at some point in time, he's going to fly in and be part of the battles. And I'm trying to remember now if there's something about him sitting on the throne after Rhaenyra for a short time. Just because, like, the throne there, from what I recall vaguely, like the throne goes ding 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 ding, like back and forth a few times, while
Yeah.
Alicent just sits in the wings going, "Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up so bad."
Yeah.
Let's talk about that scene, because that was phenomenal. Number one, like the confidence that Rhaenyra and her Queensguard have as she comes walking in, dressed as one of their sisters, their nuns. Just like she's so confident. She's like, "No one's gonna see me. No one's gonna see me." Like in my head, I could hear that sound from TikTok on, "Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious." As she goes walking in, and the entire time, you can see, and I'm sure they did it intentionally, but you can see the
little bit of white.
yeah, I'd say the white hair on either side. Where I'm like, "Oh, girl, you probably wanted to like cover all that."
Pull that down.
But she goes in, and I loved how it was immediately where she takes out the knife and she's like, "If you scream, I'll stab you, and you'll die, and I'll die." And then she's just Alice is looking at her like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "Oh, I started horribly. Let me restart." It's like, I think it's a little late for that. You just threatened to kill her if she's not quiet.
That whole conversation was very eye-opening.
Right.
Absolutely. Team Black commend Rhaenyra for having the gonads to go there to talk to her in the sneaky way that she did. But in a way, the way that conversation ended, forgive me, it did kind of show that Alicent had maybe a smidge of compassion, because she could have easily, as she strolled out of there, looked at her guards and said, "Rhaenyra's in there." And Rhaenyra would have been gone, because she would not have been able to outrun them.
To be fair, we haven't not seen that happen yet, because when it faded to black as Alicent's walking away and Rhaenyra is still kneeling there.
I like to make assumptions.
Well, I just know the fandom would be sitting there going, "Hey, look, she's still there. It could still be happening." It's like, this is true.
It could be, but I doubt it, because they still have the war.
Yep. I was going to say, that's the thing. Like, it's one of those things where I know it's a TV show. I know it's not true history. I know the book is basically like if you're reading a history book. But there's so many times, like, had Rhaenys just said Dracarys when her and her dragon burst from the floor, the monster under the floorboards. Had she just done it then, no war. No war. They all would have been dead. The entire Team Green would have been dead. And just been like, "Yo, okay, Otto Hightower, dead. Alicent, dead. Aegon, dead. Aemon, dead." I would have felt bad for Helena, just because, like, I feel like she gets the shit end of that stick constantly.
Well, yeah, because number one, she had to marry her brother,
and not the one who actually loved her brother, just the one who's the whore. How many children do you have? Lots.
I mean, I get it. From watching Harry Potter, you don't want the mudbloods, you want pure blood. Calm down. Get him to marry a cousin, not his sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say, at least sprout out a little bit. Like, I mean, they did that with Rhaenyra and her cousin there. Why can't I think of his name?
Rhaenys' son?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I would say, yeah, you remember. You know the kids I'm talking about, the two that are dead already. So to me, it's like, you could have just married, like, go with cousins, do that. I mean, Jace and well, Luke's dead now, but they were engaged to their cousins. Like, okay, see, you're going outside of the direct family lineage at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was trying to think for a second. I'm like, there'd be less bloodline mixing with those ones just because their father's actually breaks bones. Break bones? I think Break Bones was his nickname. But totally went on a tangent of thinking of the children in the marriage, and then it's like, wait a minute, go back to her. So the part where you literally see Alicent's face when she says, like, you can see the pain on Rhaenyra's face when she hears Alicent say, "I speak the truth. Your father spoke Aegon's name." And just like, you could see a wall of sadness and grief just smack her right in the face as a tear rolls down her cheek. Well, she's coming to terms with the fact, she's like, oh my God, my father really didn't want me to have this. You could see the thoughts going behind it of sudden doubt of the fact of what she was supposed to be. And then my favorite part of the episode, when Alicent says something about, oh yeah, he will be the one on the throne, and will, whatever the prophecy is about the North and the long winter's night. And when Rhaenyra's like, are those the words that he spoke? He told you of the story of song and of fire, the song of fire and ice, and you just see Alicent go, huh?
Right? She was like, yeah. Like you so commonly do when you have no idea what the other person who's talking to you is talking about. You're like, yeah.
Of course. You could tell. And then immediately Rhaenyra's like, you don't know? You said the wrong Aegon. And just the look on Alice's face as she's doing all the calculating, going, no.
I fucked up.
No, he said Aegon. And she's like, it's not him. You need to stop this. You backed the wrong horse, lady. And just the instant look on her face as she's like, I fucked up.
And again,
so bad.
That you know, at that point, she could choose to do the right thing, but she chooses not to because the cogs in the wheel are already coming together. It's for mass destruction, basically.
Well, by that point in time, she was in so deep, like, you can't. You can't undo it. It's the major moment of, I fucked up and now I have to follow through with it, because I fucked up on an epic proportion of, I put my son, who's dumb and doesn't know how to lead and makes piss poor decisions, on the throne. And you kind of got to wonder if in the character's mind, she's not playing through everything going, my best friend's kid, who's my grandson, I think is what it would have been. Yeah, step-grandson was murdered by my own son because I started this war by putting my son on the throne to screw over my best friend / stepdaughter. And he wasn't even meant to be on there because he's not the one that's prophesized for it. And then my grandson was beheaded as a child because of all of the things that I've done. My father's been cast out. All of these things, just sitting there going, oh no. Oh no, we have to do the war now.
So at the end of season 1, we see Aemond kill Luke, thank you. So many names, I can't remember them all.
Well, and they're never.
Do you think? And I'm asking your opinion. I don't know the theories in the books. I don't know But I'm asking your opinion. Do you think when that scene was when you just saw Vagar come and scoop Luke and the dragon in its mouth?
Num num num. Basically the size difference. Num num num.
The look on Aemon's face, do you think he had just like a flicker of remorse for taking it, like, here's the line and here's Aemon flying over it type thing?
Mm-hmm. So it's hard because I had read about that part already before seeing it, because my friend had told me about it. I think if I remember right, she's read the entire book. And we were talking about it in the group chat before the scene was coming. She's like, "Oh, I know what's coming." She's like, "You might want to prepare yourself for this." I'm like, "Oh, what's coming?" It was like, "Oh no, the redcoats are coming. The redcoats are coming." So she told me, and I looked into it. I read about it. I'm like, "Oh." So in the book, it's far more gruesome in the fact that Eamon intentionally, like, it's full on, he purposely did that. There's no question about it whatsoever. He purposely chased after his cousin, he took him down, and then he went down and plucked out the eyeballs of Luke and brought them back as a gift to show his betrothed, and then, if I remember correctly, gave them to his mom to say, "Here's Luke's eyes," like an eye for an eye kind of thing.
An eye for an eye, yep.
But he plucked
son
out
for
both.
son.
Yep. So he plucked out both of them. And I was like, "Here you go. Look what I have. They're little bobbly earrings." So in the show, when you see that little flicker on his face of what appears like remorse, it's hard to say whether, like, it kind of feels like it, but then at the same time, I kind of wonder. I don't think it was remorse for killing Luke. I think it was more so remorse at the fact of him going, "Oh, my mom's gonna be so mad." Like,
yeah, she wasn't.
oh no, I mean, of all of them, she was. All the others were like, "Well done." Like Otto's like, "Well done, boy, you did it." Like,
do you think she knew it was going to lead to the war?
I think she did. I think she's the one who really saw it just by the way that they're in the council. Like when the season opens, I think it's when the season opened, and she's in the chamber where they have their little meeting and they put the ball thing in the
small
holder.
council?
The small council. Thank you. Could not think of that at all. I think she had already figured that out, where she's like, "I'm trying to send ravens to say, hey, let's avoid killing. Would you be willing to bend the knee," kind of thing. Like, here's some things that we can work on together. And then Eamon does that, and she's like, "Oh, son of a
Call
bitch.
back the birds."
Is it too late to hit unsend? It's like when you sent an email and you're like, "Oh, it's too late. Unsend, unsend,
I
unsend,
shouldn't have
unsend."
said that.
Like, crap. So I think she saw it coming, and then you have a council full of guys there all sitting around, "Yeah, we should go to war. Let's just go and kill everyone." Like, okay. Or we could try the peaceful approach. And she's like, "Let's try doing it this way. We'll try to make it right." And I think it's her father who's like, "Yeah, we 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 just killed her son."
Yeah, but Otto strikes me as somebody who wanted
The clash.
the clash. He I don't think he wanted the harmony that maybe Rhaenyra and Alicent could have come to eventually.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted the fall down, drag them out, hit them till they're dead, clash, because he wanted his family on the throne.
Well, and you kind of got to
That's my
wonder.
opinion.
Well, I kind of wonder if he even wanted it just because of one tiny little scene in season 1 where he's talking to his brother from Old Town because they're there for Aegon's second name day, or second or third name day. And he says he's talking to him, talking to him, And his brother's like, oh, well, now we're in the good spot. Like, that's the heir to the throne. And Otto's just sitting there going, no. And what makes you say that? It's like, no, it's still Rhaenyra. So he, even at that point in time, I kind of wonder if it wasn't a family decision where they were all like, hey, Otto, you're going to try and install our heir as heir to the throne instead of Rhaenyra. Get her out of the way. It's the firstborn son. And we all know that Aegon never wanted to be king. Like, the entire time that they show his adolescence, even once he gets to adulthood, he's sitting there going, I don't want to. That's not what I don't want to do that. I'm not a part of it. I have no interest in it whatsoever. And they're just like, yeah, well, you're going to be king. It's like,
you'll like it or lump it.
And you think about it, he never had any training for the job. He never sat in on small councils. He never really did, like, he was interested in fighting when he was younger, like he was a good swordsman.
Yeah.
And going around and whoring. Those are pretty much the only things that he was like, yeah, I'm really good at these things. Oh, that's good. Not really the great makings of a king, but that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes me kind of wonder if Otto didn't truly want it and it was a family choice, and then Alicent just got on board when she heard the wrong Aegon.
I heard Aegon. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter if it was one or two.
Yeah, all I heard
or
was
the
Aegon.
Conqueror.
Yeah. All I heard was that it was Aegon. It didn't matter which one it was. It's my boy, clearly. Like, trying to remember, is that Jon Snow's name by the end of Game of Thrones? Is Aegon?
Aegon Targaryen.
Is that the name that he?
I believe so.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, I can't remember. I really need to just rewatch the show again, just because I can't remember all the details anymore. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. So I'm curious. Like, this week's episode was very much, I don't want to say, like, it would be the equivalent of, like, some shows you can feel when you're watching, you're like, oh, they're a filler show where they're just trying to progress certain storylines to get to the next part.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically what this week's episode was. Excuse me. Was that it was meant to try and progress the story towards showing what's coming. And even when it's slower episodes, because there was no real, I don't think there was any killing this week. I think everyone survived this episode. Right?
Well, everybody that mattered.
I don't remember anyone dying. Yeah, I don't think I remember anyone dying this week. So.
Yeah, me either. Come think of it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, now that I'm thinking about it, there was very little violence this week.
So, Daemon's hallucinations.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those.
Are they foreshadowing his death?
Near as I can tell, that's why I said I think that's where he dies. I don't think, at least the feeling that I'm getting, in my opinion and my feeling on it, I don't think he ever sees Rhaenyra again. Like, I think they have that row, and he flies off, and I don't think she sees him again after that. So I think this is where I think he dies over Harrenhal, and like, his death is a hard fought one. Like, he kills Aemon first, and then he dies too, just because, like, he's mortally wounded, kind of thing.
Okay. So, viewers, you watch the show, you watch the beginning of the show, and each week, I don't know if you've noticed, each week it changes.
The what?
The making of the tapestry. Have you not noticed that?
I shouldn't have skipped it. I watched it the first week, and then I haven't watched it. God damn it! Now I'm going to have to watch this. I knew it, and I knew that it was going to change too, just because they did that. I don't know if you ever noticed it, but I did in Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
that it changed from week to week, season to season, where I was like, this is important to see. Fucking knew I should watch it.
Because it's telling the story. So the opening credits, the beginning of the show with the music, it's showing the tapestry being made.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like an embroidered cloth, which you see a lot of the women doing in the show. And V, God bless V, you get a tag. She noticed in the tapestry 2 blonde-haired people, a man and a woman, who her and I have come to the submission that they are Damon and Rhaenyra, with Damon dying and Rhaenyra holding him as he dies. So viewers, watch the beginning, watch the tapestry, and I would be very much interested in how you guys interpret that, and you can leave comments on this video. It's just like the way that it's done. It literally this week it showed the battle on the battlefield. It showed all the dead bodies.
God damn it, I knew I should have fucking watched it. Get son of a bitch.
You're fast forwarding through shit.
I was all excited because I was like, okay, I got home after it was aired. I'm like, okay, I need to watch it. Popped it on, skip, let's go. Should fucking knew. I know better. That's it. I'm never skipping nothing again. 5-minute opening.
Tapestry. So yeah, pay attention to that. And like I said, comment in this section and let us know what you think it means.
Yeah, because I'll be curious to know what other people think it means. I mean, there's so many blonde-haired people that's like.
Yes, but we have to look at it that Allison's not blonde-haired.
Yep.
Helena is blonde-haired, and so is Aegon.
Mm-hmm.
But Aegon doesn't die, does he? Does he not live a longer life?
I don't think so. I think he gets killed.
So it could be. Helena and Aegon, or Damon and Rhaenyra.
Or it could be, just throwing this out there as devil's advocate, could be Helena and Aemon. Look at her.
Oh yeah. Okay, viewers, we want your opinions. Definitely want your opinions.
Yes. So this is where we'll bring this to a close, as I just looked at it and we're 43 minutes in.
Our little 15-minute episodes of my ass.
We're so good. We're getting longer with each week. Like,
the only way you people can stop us is get us up to 1,000 followers and let us go live.
Yes, clearly that is the answer here. So yes, give us a like, give us a follow, share us with your friends. Also, definitely comment your thoughts on it. V will be tagged in this again, as she brought light to it. Going,
yes, and let us know let us know what you guys think the tapestry means. And because it is going to change next week, you may have to go back and rewatch this week's tapestry opening.
What's your homework? Watch the tapestries.
Watch the tapestry.
All right. We'll see you guys on Sunday with our regular podcast, which may or may not have a guest on it. We can't remember anymore from week to week or day to day. And we'll see you next week.
You know what? Oh. I don't think it is. I think our next guest is on the 16th. So it's another free week.
There we go. So we'll have something fun to talk about this weekend. And next Wednesday, we'll be back with another recap and talk about our feelings for...
I don't have ghosts in my house. That was my boy. Have a good day, everyone.
Ciao.